potato.
Hello, I'm Samantha Jolly. You're watching 7's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, a cosmic spectacle in our Pilbara. Amazing pictures as a massive green fireball streaks across the night sky. A last-minute court bid to stop a sheep ship leaving Fremantle for the Middle East. Why a mother who admitted to smothering her teenage daughter plans to celebrate. Final moments, the confrontation that sparked America's latest deadly police shooting. And taking on the tribunal, the West Coast Eagles decide to challenge Jeremy McGovern's one-match ban. Mine workers across the Pilbara were left staring skywards in disbelief as a massive green fireball streaked through the night sky. Rob Scott joins me. Rob, experts have described the alien light show as an extraterrestrial treasure.
They have indeed, Sam. Quite a mouthful, that, isn't it? Those scientists are just as excited about this fireball as the mine workers who actually witnessed it last night. It shot across the sky, giving off a brilliant green glow, illuminating the clouds as it shot past. It burned so bright and lasted so long, workers were able to pull out their phones and capture what they were seeing, even if they didn't know exactly what it was they were filming. That footage has experts buzzing today. Now, while they can't say for certain what it was, they have ruled out the possibility of it being space junk. Instead, they believe it was either a meteorite hurtling towards the Earth or a grazing fireball, which is a very bright meteor that enters the Earth's atmosphere before being shot back out to space. They've been known to reach speeds of 40,000 kilometres an hour.
That was enormous. An awesome fireball. Yeah, these events are just incredible. I'm yet to see that myself, but I look forward to the day when I can experience something so glorious.
Scientists can't say for certain, but they think the space rock was probably about the size of a washing machine, and the green glow suggests it was made largely of iron, which means if it did crash somewhere in the Pilbara, finding it would be almost impossible, Sam, because there's just so much iron up in that region.
That is the most incredible vision.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Thanks, Sam.
An animal rights group has filed a last-minute court injunction to stop 50,000 sheep being transported from Fremantle to the Middle East on livestock carrier Al Kuwait. The ship has been berthed in Fremantle for 3 weeks in limbo after almost half the crew fell sick with COVID-19. El Giorgio is at the port. El, when is the ship supposed to leave?
Sam, good afternoon. There is finally a deadline, but what we know is that these 50,000 sheep have to be loaded aboard the Al Kuwait here behind me at Fremantle Port at the very latest at midnight on Wednesday. But there are now serious concerns that that journey with the sheep aboard may never get underway. What we've seen at the port today is feed being loaded onto the ship, but there are now concerns that those sheep may never follow. It comes after animal rights group Animals Australia filed the last-minute injunction to block the journey in Australia's federal court in Melbourne this morning, arguing that it's inhumane for these animals to travel in the height of the northern summer in confinement for 2 weeks before they'll even reach their final destination in Kuwait in the Middle East, saying that the consequences could be catastrophic if that journey goes ahead. The ship has been stranded at Fremantle Port for 3 weeks now, waiting for that crew to recover from coronavirus, which has now happened in order to complete that journey back to the Middle East. Alana McTiernan, WA's Minister for Agriculture, agreeing it is a very complicated situation. Take a listen.
Look, we're certainly pushing right against the edge of what is acceptable. We're definitely, there's going to be a lot of risk associated with this.
So when is the Federal Court of Australia expected to hand down its decision? More on that in 7 News tonight at 6. Sam?
Elle, thank you. A Safety Bay mother who admitted to repeatedly smothering her teenage daughter says she'll celebrate avoiding jail with her children. That's despite all 4 of them having restraining orders against her.
First, she forced her children to break into a home. Days later, she repeatedly smothered one until she lost consciousness 3 times. Today, Kylie Ann Weinbrecht avoided an immediate jail term. The mother of 4 was sentenced to 4 years in jail, conditionally suspended for 2 years.
We'll be celebrating tonight.
The incidents happened in September 2018. First, Weinbrecht used 3 of her children to break into her brother's home, where she smashed walls, believing there were dead children hidden inside. Days later, she attacked her 13-year-old daughter at home. The 34-year-old sat on her daughter's chest and smothered her with a towel. One of her other children, who has an intellectual impairment, was forced to stop her. Weinbrecht told police she believed she was performing an exorcism. The court heard she suffers from mental health issues and was having a psychotic episode. In 7 News at 6, why she's free to celebrate tonight. The reasons the judge suspended her sentence.
After a week of delay due to sickness, the Claremont serial killings trial finally resumed today. The prosecution restarted its closing argument, outlining why it believes Bradley Robert Edwards is guilty. Alison Fan is covering the trial.
Prosecutor Carmel Barbagallo finally returned to court again this morning to begin delivering her closing address all over again. It was a packed court as the case got underway. Members of the victim's family were there to see this marathon case inch closer to a verdict. In her final address, Prosecutor Carmel Barbagallo urged Justice Stephen Hall to find accused killer Bradley Robert Edwards guilty of murdering all 3 Claremont victims, Sarah Spears, Jane Rimmer and Kira Glennon. Carmel Barbagallo again went into detail about the DNA evidence, explaining how contamination of the samples was almost impossible, despite claims by the defence. The defence says DNA taken from the Karrakatta rape victim, which Bradley Edwards has admitted to, matches the sample taken from under the fingernail of Kira Glennon. These final arguments in WA's longest ever criminal trial are expected to end this week. And at 6, how long could it take to reach a verdict?
Perth police have been sent to Broome as the search for a man wanted for questioning over a sexual assault ramps up. Police say a man broke into the home of a woman and her child in the early hours of Thursday morning. It's alleged he threatened them with a weapon before sexually assaulting them.
The victims are traumatised, they're struggling, but they're doing the best they can given the circumstances.
Police want to speak to 36-year-old Rami Rahman, who they say can assist with the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact authorities. The Prime Minister has unveiled plans to fast-track key infrastructure projects in an attempt to create tens of thousands of new jobs post-COVID-19. Taylor Aitken reports from Canberra.
The government hopes some 66,000 new jobs will be created by slashing approval times for high-priority projects. The deregulation agreement between federal, state and territory governments seeks to cut red tape in order to get projects started as soon as possible. 15 projects right across the country have been deemed a priority, including the Western Sydney Airport and the Snowy 2.0 project. Also on the list, the Inland Rail Link from Melbourne to Brisbane, the Marinus Energy Link, South Australia's Olympic Dam extension and rail, road and iron ore projects in WA. The federal government will also commit an extra $1.5 billion towards smaller infrastructure projects.
It is expected that over $100 billion of economic activity has been lost this year, and that it will take us an estimated 2 years at least just to get back to the level we were at prior to the fall from COVID-19. And that's why we have a plan to lift that growth, not just for the next few months, just not for now, but the next 5 years.
The Prime Minister has also detailed a grim economic outlook, warning that due to the coronavirus pandemic, Australia is facing a record deficit both this year and next year. The Prime Minister saying record expenditure combined with a hit to revenue will see an extra cautious approach to government spending. He did, however, rule out hiking taxes as a way to restore the budget's bottom line.
Police body cam vision has been released showing the final moments before an African-American man was shot after resisting arrest in Atlanta. Meanwhile, this is what remains of the fast food restaurant where Rayshard Brooks was killed after it was torched by protesters in an angry response to the latest deadly shooting. US Bureau Chief Ashley Mullaney reports.
Rayshard Brooks' death has been officially ruled a homicide, with an autopsy report confirming he died from 2 gunshot wounds to the back. Prosecutors now poring over police body cam vision as they consider charges against the officers. The video taken just minutes before his death shows Rayshard Brooks cooperating with police. He'd been found asleep in his car blocking the drive-through of a fast food restaurant.
You had about 1.5 drinks, but you don't remember what kind of drinks they were.
Police suspected he'd been drinking and driving. Mr Brooks tells officers he'd had a few drinks, offering to leave his car behind and walk home. But as they try to handcuff him, the situation escalates. A scuffle on the ground and Mr Brooks breaks free and runs. Security video from another angle shows the moment he points a stolen taser back at officers. In a split second, they fire back.
Oh!
With lethal force.
Both of your careers are definitely done because you just shot a man.
We counted 2 minutes and 16 seconds before they even checked his pulse. And people wonder why everyone's bad.
Atlanta's mayor was swift to act.
I do not believe that this was a justified use of deadly force.
The officer who fired the fatal shots was sacked, as was the chief of police. With the nation still raw over the murder of George Floyd, Mr Brooks' death quickly sparked protests. The restaurant where he was killed set alight. Protests continuing into the night, with police acting quickly, arresting dozens of people blocking a major Atlanta highway. The video that captured the final moments of Mr Brooks' life now forms part of an investigation into the officer's actions. Prosecutors saying they could lay charges of murder or manslaughter against the officer who pulled the trigger as early as next week.
Another Black Lives Matter protester is among the latest confirmed COVID-19 infections in Victoria. The state has reported 12 new cases over the past 24 hours, including a second positive case linked to last weekend's rally. The 2 cases are not thought to be related, nor are they believed to have been infectious at the time of the protest. The West Coast Eagles have decided to fight the one-match ban handed out to star defender Jeremy McGovern. Ryan Daniels has the details from their hub on the Gold Coast.
Sam, the West Coast Eagles will fight Jeremy McGovern's striking charge tomorrow night at the AFL Tribunal. Now, the charge itself was related to this incident where McGovern allegedly struck Suns forward Alex Sexton. It was graded as intentional contact, low impact and high contact. Now, West Coast will do their best to argue that there was insufficient force to establish a strike and that also that there was hardly any contact made. So that will likely be their argument at the tribunal tomorrow night. There's really almost no risk for West Coast. Under the new rules that were established a couple of years ago, the penalty can't be any worse, so if they lose this appeal at the tribunal, McGovern will still only serve a one-match suspension. However, if they are unsuccessful, there will be a fine for the West Coast Eagles. That would normally be $10,000, but due to the COVID situation, that fine would be reduced to $5,000. Of course, if they're successful, he'll be available to play against the Brisbane Lions on Saturday night at the Gabba. And don't they need him, Sam, after that performance on the weekend?
Sure do. Thanks, Ryan. Still to come, the AFL has another racism scandal on its hands. Plus, riots on the streets of London. We hear from the hero behind this photo. And how the victims of the Grenfell fire tragedy have been remembered 3 years on.
Getting big retailers to bid for your business. Getting Aussie consumers bargains better than online prices. Only on 7 News, 6 o'clock.
Yet.
I'm in business.
New Big Brother, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Being a good egg is part of the West Aussie DNA, so why can't kindness travel on our roads? The West Australian and Channel 7 think it's as easy as convincing every road user to use their hands to say thanks. We're dubbing it the West Aussie Wave. There's a wave to give way, a wave to say thanks. Even a wave for when you accidentally do the wrong thing. Join in on the West Aussie Wave, a symbol of courtesy that all road users can be known for.
WA, now's your chance to dream with the $20 million Saturday Lotto Super Draw. So get your tickets and play for WA.
Even remotely, our home loan specialists can zoom into your home to help you save on your next loan.
Restful sleep and absolute comfort. Our Tessa beds provide gel-infused memory foam luxury and support, and adjust at the touch of a button. Visit our website or browse extensive range of products at any of our 4 stores. Medi Hire and Sales. Take care of yourself.
Treat yourself to a smooth, delicious barista-made McCafe coffee, and we could treat you to a free coffee every day for a year. Drive through and buy any McCafe drink and go in the running to be your local McCafe winner.
Tough, refined, exceptional value. A BT50 stands out. At the Mazda Standout End of Financial Year event, get a Mazda BT50 XT 4x4 dual cab with ABN bonus from $38,490 drive away.
Step 1, get some. Bro, I said that last time, eh? It's my mission to solve chafing. Step 1, all over. These micro panels in between the legs let you glide. Buy them online at step1.life. Step 1, gotcha.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Observing with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Oh, brilliant move, Grant. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites.
New Special K lower sugar. Rise with us. Rise with protein for muscle. With less than 4 grams of sugar. Set goals, then kick them. Try New Special K lower sugar.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks. Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Wish you had internet that didn't let you down? That doesn't leave you hanging? And won't have you missing any of the action? Get Vodafone NBN with 4G backup. Plans start from just $55 a month. And with free express delivery, connect instantly once you receive it. Buy online today at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. news live from Perth. Right now in the city, it's 19 degrees. The forecast is coming up soon. Carlton star Eddie Betts is at the centre of a new racism storm. He's called out a racist post by an Essendon fan who now faces having his membership torn up.
Alongside his teammates and opponents, Eddie Betts took a knee to try and stamp out racism.
It's a powerful statement, gesture of support, unity and respect.
The next day, he was the victim of an online racial slur.
I know it hurts him, and it's completely understandable.
Betts says being silent hasn't worked, so he used social media to highlight a racist tweet. Betts wrote, "If at any time anyone is wondering why we work so hard to bring attention to the importance of stamping out racism, this is it."
To see him vilified like that, it does hurt us. And anyone that's asking a question about why we're taking a knee pre-game or why we're trying to make a difference, why we're trying to actually do something about it, this is the exact reason why.
The racist tweet came from an Essendon supporter. In a statement, Essendon apologises not only to Eddie Betts, but the entire Indigenous community across our game for this abhorrent racial vilification.
From a footy club perspective, we've just got to wrap our arms around him, and being silent hasn't worked for a number of years. So as an industry and as a footy club, we've got to stand behind our Indigenous players and make a stand.
Sean Sowerby, 7 News.
A Black Lives Matter demonstrator who carried a counter-protester to safety on his shoulders during violent clashes in London has spoken out. Patrick Hutchinson says he knew nothing about the man he saved. He just knew it had to be done. Hugh Whitfeld has more.
On a weekend of brutal violence across central London, this was a rare moment of sanity, a rare moment of humanity. It happened down at Waterloo Station, where some of those far-right, mainly white protesters came face-to-face with Black Lives Matter demonstrators, and there were ugly scenes. One of those white men was caught in a melee, and Patrick Hutchinson took it upon himself, he says, to save that man's life.
You know, I didn't see colour. I just saw a human being on the floor, possibly coming to his end. It was absolute mayhem around this man, and you couldn't even see where he was. If you're not there to stop it happening, then you're almost party to it just by being there and watching it. You know, the George Floyd incident that happened in America, if those 3 other officers had done what we did and stopped the man that murdered him, things would be very different.
Things have calmed down here in London now, but more than 100 people were arrested as a result of these protests that became riots and in some parts running battles between groups of demonstrators and police. Dozens of officers were injured.
China is moving quickly to fight what appears to be a new wave of coronavirus. Schools are closing, with residential areas placed back into lockdown near the Beijing market linked to the latest surge in infections. Thousands lined up for testing as the country reported its highest daily total of confirmed cases in 2 months. Brazil remains deeply divided, with weekend rallies both opposing and showing support for the country's controversial leader. Anti-government protesters merged with Black Lives Matter activists, calling for the removal of the president, while his supporters paraded under Brazilian flags. Social restrictions were ignored, even as the nation nears 1 million COVID-19 cases. Bells have rung out across London to mark 3 years since the Grenfell Tower tragedy. They tolled 72 times, once for each of those who died in the fire. Prime Minister Boris Johnson told a virtual service that the country was working to ensure it never happened again.
This evening, the skies above Grenfell Tower filled with the sound of church bells. Tolling 72 times, once for each life lost. On the ground, the community gathered to remember. Comfort offered despite the restrictions on social distancing. But the corona epidemic meant the planned service had to be shown virtually. Music and memory shared online.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome want.
The singer Adele sending a message via Zoom.
It's still so important for us to mourn together and for us to remember that night and to reflect on that and also reflect on where we are now with that. But also to celebrate the lives that were lived before they were sadly taken that night.
From the Prime Minister, words of condolence and promises.
I want you to know that I remain absolutely committed to uncovering the causes of the tragedy and ensuring it is never repeated.
It's been 3 long years for Karim Musili, who lost his uncle in the fire. Like so many, he feels frustrated.
I really didn't think that we would be in this situation that we are in today, 3 years after the fire. I thought that straight away the government and, well, mainly the government would realise the national emergency that Grenfell uncovered, and that they would have acted really, really quickly to try and get this cladding down and change legislation.
The public inquiry into the disaster came to an abrupt halt in March. It's unlikely to conclude until 2022.
Thousands of buildings have been identified across the country as having the same or similar inflammable cladding as Grenfell. But it's going to cost billions to remove it. And 3 years on, it's estimated that 56,000 people could still be living in these dangerous buildings.
What started as a kitchen fire turned into an unimaginable disaster, bringing demands for change. While lives were remembered today, many questions it raised remain unanswered.
Panic buying is now officially a thing of the past, with Woolworths lifting the last of its purchase restrictions. The supermarket giant has today removed all limits on popular items, as Coles did 3 weeks ago. The restrictions were introduced in March when coronavirus fears prompted shoppers to stock up on toilet paper, sanitiser, flour and frozen fruit. Woolworths says it's taken a huge effort by suppliers and staff to ensure stock could return to normal. Still to come, home loan rates going even lower. Which banks are offering the best deals? Plus, the gondolas back on the canals as tourists return to Venice. And a special honour for a police officer who saved a little baby's life.
There's only one Brekkie show where you can wake up a winner.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras. Yay! Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
The V6 twin-turbo, rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Why don't you come? The pleasure's all mine, never getting old. If you're looking for me, I'll be dancing in my own way.
Professional, affordable and reliable. That's the Rich Tech promise for all your plumbing and electrical needs. Hot water systems, block drains, burst pipes. We're there within the hour. $0 call-out fee. Rich Tech, where service meets quality.
Let's get Rich Tech.
For making sense of a changing world. For knowing where you stand on the big issues. For understanding what's next. For the edge you need. The Australian. For the informed Australian.
Craft Decor's end of financial year sale. Overstocked, 50,000 square metres reduced. No one has a range like Craft Decor. For large orders, make us an offer. Cannington, Joondalup, Mandurah, Osborne Park and South Fremantle. Craft Decor, best tiles, best prices.
With Choices Flooring, you'll find the colour, style and texture you've been searching for right in your own home with our fun new visualiser, Room View. Visit choicesflooring.com.au and start creating.
This end of financial year, get the Hyundai i30 N-Line Premium with heated and ventilated front seats, Infinity Premium Audio and the confidence of a 7-year warranty. Hyundai's end of financial year sale. See it to believe it.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, 10 gigs of scrolling through memory lane, 10 gigs of staycations, or 10 gigs of catching up with the family. Plus, unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. We all spend family time differently. Together, we're different. Belong.
Police have released vision of 2 women they want to speak to following a violent altercation in Northbridge at the weekend. Brooke Jeffers was celebrating her birthday when she says she was glassed by another girl at the Brass Monkey. The 22-year-old says it happened following an argument. She was taken to hospital with a possible broken nose. Anyone who saw the incident should contact police. A top New South Wales health official has told the Ruby Princess inquiry that his department was seriously under-resourced to cope with the pandemic back in March and staff were being overworked. Robert Avadi is covering the inquiry.
Yes, the Ruby Princess inquiry really has seen now quite the procession of Sydney public health officials who have been hauled before the inquiry and grilled as to the decision-making process that allowed thousands of passengers to disembark in Sydney on March 19 before suspicious swabs had even been tested. Now today, Sydney health official Mark Thurston was asked why passengers could not simply wait a further 9 hours on board until those test results were known. He had no answer. He said he didn't know. The professor told the inquiry his department was severely under-resourced to cope with the pandemic and that employees risked burning out.
I was concerned that my staff were already working very long hours. We hadn't surged staff at that point. And coronavirus emergency response, it wasn't just routine work for the public health unit and needed additional assistance.
Professor Thurston was also asked why the Ruby Princess was even allowed on its ill-fated voyage with what Commissioner Brett Walker SC called a woefully small number of COVID swabs available on board.
Didn't that call then for stern reminders of
the implications it may have for a ship if they don't take the swabs?
Yes.
Is there some reason why that wasn't done?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Should it have been done?
It should have been done.
The official also agreed judging the risks on board the ship was flawed because it applied responses to known viruses like influenza, and that the more cautious approach needed to be taken with little known about, for example, the incubation period of a novel coronavirus.
A Perth mother accused of pouring bleach down her sick baby's feeding tube claims she suffered an asthma attack before her court appearance today. 26-year-old Brooke Lucas was limping and breathing heavily when she entered the courtroom, but ran from cameras as she left with her partner. She maintains she's not guilty of trying to murder her 13-month-old son William, who was born with Pierre-Robin sequence, a condition that needs around-the-clock care. Australians are rushing to refinance loans as interest rates plummet through the pandemic. Lenders are coming to the party and mortgages could drop to as low as 1%.
From today, you can get a home loan with the lowest ever fixed rate for owner-occupiers, 2.09%.
What we've seen in the last 12 months is we're actually writing 20% more loans than we were last year. And the broker industry is growing year on year. It's because we have access to up to 40 lenders.
Battling to get your business and still offering rebates of up to $4,000. And soon there will be open banking.
One, you get to see exactly what the bank sees in your data, and two, you actually get to direct that they send it to another bank. So you're putting that other bank on an equal footing.
Making switching so much easier. The Australian Banking Association says it will empower customers to use their transaction history to show what a good customer they are to drive a better deal. CanStar has put 100 loans under the microscope. Reduced Home Loans has the lowest variable rate of 2.25%.
Near Bunbury. If approved, the hub will create hundreds of local jobs and potentially provide engineering companies with an opportunity to win back manufacturing work currently being done overseas.
Time to check finance now with James Tower at CommSec, and concerns about a second wave of the coronavirus seem to have weighed heavily on the local share market.
We have seen the Aussie share market falling quite significantly on Monday and down for a third straight session as well. So today the ASX 200 gave up about 128 points, or about 2.2%. And this kind of comes after what was quite a strong rally. The ASX 200 actually lifting more than 30% from its March 23 lows. And much of that was driven by the fact that the markets and investors were rather optimistic about the fact that we were past the worst of COVID-19. We've now seen some new infection rates spiking, and that's seen all our sectors in negative territory today. The Aussie dollar also weaker to about 67.85 US cents.
Could your genetic makeup indicate your chances of having a heart attack? Details ahead. Also, a Labor Party power broker caught on camera branch stacking and using foul language about a colleague. And the return of playtime, how the COVID lockdown has changed toy trends for kids.
No matter where they make us play, no matter where they make us train, no matter how they change the rules, the West always puts WA footy first. For West Australians, by West Australians, your essential companion in a season like no other.
It's story after story.
I don't want to lose you, Joey.
Drama.
Derek, I don't know what to do.
After drama.
I think there's something wrong. I need help in here!
That come alive right here.
I'm right here. I'm okay.
Because this is the home of drama. All streaming for free on 7+.
It's laundry season at Harvey Norman. Wash smarter with the latest technology from all the leading brands. Save up to $700 on selected Miele laundry packages, or up to $1,200 on selected AEG packages. We have dryers in stock from $349. Front-load washers with steam to sanitize and care for your delicate items from $698. King-size washers to save you time from $899. Plus 60 months interest-free is available. Limited time, now at Harvey Norman.
Have you filed a claim for compensation for a car or work accident injury? Do you know how much you deserve and what your outstanding claim is worth? Phone solicitor Simon Walters for your free initial consultation now.
Step 1, get some. Bro, I said that last time, eh? It's my mission to solve chafing. Step 1, all over. These micro panels in between the legs let you glide. Buy them online at step1.life. Step 1, gotcha.
The power's in your hands and at your feet. The BMW 320i sedan from 69,900 drive away. Joy is coming.
Entertain your family and make over your backyard with an Aquatechnics pool. Visit our website for our award-winning range including plunge pools, sleek lap designs and the amazing 11-metre model. Get an online quote or visit our display centres today.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
At My Budget, we help people do better with their money, just like Alyssa and Pete.
The biggest thing since joining My Budget is that we've eliminated almost all of our debt, and we can put that money that we were paying off credit cards and loans to something that's much more interesting, like things for the family. And honestly, we have My Budget to thank for that.
Live your life free from money worries. Call My Budget today.
A Melbourne trial is underway to determine if your genetic makeup could predict a heart attack. The Monash University study will look at whether a genetic variation could result in a higher risk of cardiovascular disease or heart attack. It's hoped that by identifying the variation, people could receive early intervention medication. The Labor Party has been rocked by a branch stacking scandal that's claimed one minister and left two others under investigation. Adam Somyurek was ousted hours after foul-mouthed tirades were exposed in explosive secret videos and phone taps.
Disgraced and now former Victorian Minister Adam Somyurek is back home in Melbourne South East after a quick trip into the city this morning to see the Premier, a meeting that lasted just a few minutes. What happened in that room? Well, it depends who you believe. Premier Daniel Andrews insists he sacked Mr Somyurek from his position as Small Business Minister and as part of his government. Mr Somyurek says he in fact resigned, but the outcome is the same. Mr Somyurek is an outcast from the Labor Party after damning revelations that he oversaw corruption over years, branch stacking, using fake members. Plus, he was caught out using insulting, sexist and homophobic remarks about several colleagues, including Minister for Women Gabrielle Williams and the Premier, who this morning said all this was a bombshell to him. He said until last night he hadn't heard about any of this, despite it being widespread and long-standing. But Victoria's Attorney-General has now asked Victoria Police and Victoria's anti-corruption watchdog IBAC to investigate.
He was not afforded an opportunity to resign because he didn't deserve an opportunity to resign. He was sacked.
Despite acting quickly on Mr Somyurek, the Premier said other ALP staffers and two other ministers who were implicated in these rorts, Marlene Carews and Robin Scott, would keep their jobs while he awaits the outcome of those investigations. When asked why he didn't sack those two ministers as well, he said he accepted their assurances that they hadn't done anything wrong.
A major retailer has picked up on some new trends when it comes to the toys parents are now buying. Jigsaw puzzles have enjoyed a resurgence and outdoor toys are having a massive revival too.
Well, for many parents, lockdown meant spending hours and hours with the kids at home, playing with toys, games and, of course, doing puzzles. A new report out today reveals the top 5 most popular toys since COVID-19. Coming in first place, toys on a budget, such as Hot Wheels and Lego. Next, a resurgence in old school toys like the Rubik's Cube and Cabbage Patch dolls.
You know, parents have been a bit lost when it comes to games of today.
It's all about online. And we had games. We had those Rubik's Cubes or those Cabbage Patch dolls, and we were outside kicking a ball. And I think it's been beautiful to bring that back, parents connecting with their kids, but from their childhood.
And there's only 3,000 of these Care Bears, so you'd better get in quick. Rounding out the top 5 Aussie favourites like Bluey and the Wiggles.
Well, we saw that nostalgia really come back. So parents and the toys that they used to play with, so Barbie, Hot Wheels, and of course puzzles. I mean, it's been a long time since we all played with puzzles, but anything that was educational in nature and anything that really kept kids entertained, along with the parents who played alongside them.
Lots of puzzles, books, yeah, blocks for this one.
And of course, there has been a huge demand for puzzles, with sales up 225% on last year.
5 aspiring canine crime fighters have taken their first baby steps on the thin blue line. The 3-month-old German Shepherds look far from fierce as they begin training, though at least one has a bit of attitude.
We always say that what makes an average pet makes a really good police dog. So some of those traits that you look at and you think, that's a bit ordinary, they're great dogs for us.
It's hoped they'll be ready to pounce by the end of next year. Workers at the Australian Reptile Park are being kept busy caring for their cutest resident. The 4-month-old Palmer Wallaby was born in the park's breeding sanctuary but was abandoned by his mum. The joey has been named Booty, which means heart in various Indigenous languages. Palmer Wallabies are regarded as a vulnerable species, even being presumed extinct in the 1970s. Stay with us, Basil has your sport next.
We love being surprised. We love acts we've never seen before. Without people like you, we have no show.
This is what I want to see when I watch America's Got Talent.
We weren't expecting that.
Does your mother know you do this?
Gotta blow us away.
It's awesome on steroids.
You blew the roof off.
New America's Got Talent, Wednesday on 7.
Looking for fast relief from the symptoms of common cold and flu? Try Dimetap Ultra Plus from Chemist Warehouse with added immune support capsules. Dimetap Ultra Plus cough, cold and flu plus immune support are $10.99. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
When the road calls, here's the very best way to answer. The BMW X3 S-Drive 20i from $69,900 drive away. Joy is coming.
If you've been injured in a road accident, it's important to know where you stand. Talk to Australia's #1 injuries law firm. Morris Blackburn Lawyers will maximise your compensation so you can get on with your life again. Call us now. It costs nothing to know where you stand.
Deliciously messy Aussie pork ribs are now only $13.99 a kilo. Aldi. Good. Different.
These undies make you chafe. And these, as well as these. Chafing is horrible. These are Step 1s, the inventors of no chafe underwear. They've got these lycra panels between the legs, which means no more chafing. You buy them at step1.life and never chafe again.
Getting back on the road is something we're all looking forward to, and Toyota is here to help you do just that. With a range of finance options like offering a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across selected models.
Get Hilux 4x4 SR5 from $53,990 drive away and a $1,500 finance deposit bonus with Toyota Finance.
Like to know more? Go to toyota.com.au.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Wish you had internet that didn't let you down? That doesn't leave you hanging? And won't have you missing any of the action? Get Vodafone NBN with 4G backup. Plans start from just $55 a month. And with free express delivery, connect instantly once you receive it. Buy online today at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler in the action-packed 911 Lone Star on 7.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Basil joins us now. Baz, what's happening in sport today?
We sure are, Sam. The Eagles will head to the tribunal in a bid to overturn Jeremy McGovern's one-match ban. The champion defender was found guilty of rough conduct against Gold Coast son Alex Sexton. And Dockers ruckman Sean Darcy has been cleared of a serious knee injury but is likely to miss at least a week. Midfielder James Ace says despite 2 narrow losses to start the season, the club knows it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, clearly a bit frustrating. You want to win, and we've been in both the games against good opposition. There's a lot to take out of it. I think probably this week we played a bit more how we want to play.
The Dockers play ladder leaders Port Adelaide on the Gold Coast this Sunday. Tomorrow looms as D-Day for Jaeger O'Meara's round 3 hopes with the Hawthorn midfielder have a fitness test on his fractured skull. The Hawks are desperate for O'Meara to return against the Tigers as Alistair Clarkson faces some tough selections at the table.
This morning, Jaeger O'Meara looked as sharp as ever, but tomorrow's contact session will be the big test as he attempts to prove to club doctors he's recovered from a fracture above his eye.
We need him out there. He's a quality player and he just adds that extra grunt to the midfield.
After being labelled 4th rate by Alistair Clarkson following their 10-goal loss to the Cats, the Hawks midfield is on notice.
We're always proud to pull on the Hawthorn jumper, so when people say you put up the white flag, it does hurt, it stings.
The Cats' small forwards cut the Hawks' top-heavy defence to shreds. And on Thursday night, Hawthorn faces the Tigers, who boast the best small forward line in the game.
We've got to fix a few things, otherwise, if we don't, we might see the same result.
The frustrated Blues are still trying to process their 1-point loss.
And Melbourne dodge a huge bullet, a heartbreaker for the Blues.
There's no point coming in being doom and gloom and staring at my shoes. It's onward, upward, and we move on to the next week.
It doesn't get any easier. Their next assignment is Geelong at the Cattery on Saturday night.
We're not that far behind, and the 0-2 start, although it's unfortunate, teams are going to lose 2 games over the season. So we just got to put our head down. We've got to go down there and do the job we want to do and come back with 4 points.
Fresh from a stunning 3-goal haul in their giant victory, Roos live wire Cameron Zurha was spotted at scans.
Yeah, I'm right. Just getting a quick check-up, so all good.
And there were no sky-high beers on the plane back home with the victorious Bombers.
Nah, I think everyone was pretty knackered. It's been a long day, so yeah, we just got on the plane and everyone was just wanting to get to bed, to be honest.
Sean Sowerby, 7 News.
A-League players are being tested for COVID-19 today ahead of a return to training later this week. The plan to restart the season on July 16 still hasn't been signed off by their broadcast partner. It's full steam ahead in Spain, where empty stadiums aren't affecting the quality.
Tries to wriggle his way through, cleared out to Tony Kroos. Oh, what a finish into the top corner. 3 minutes on the clock.
Brazilian star Marcelo paid tribute to Black Lives Matter after scoring in Real Madrid's win over Eibar. New South Wales recruit Adam Zampa says joining forces with Nathan Lyon in Shield cricket will boost his test prospects. Not satisfied with being a regular in the Aussie limited overs team, Zampa is determined to crack the Test 11.
If you're another spinner in the country, your best bet is to probably try and play with Nathan. So if I can form a relationship with him and play some Shield cricket with Nathan, it's probably the best way for me to get that baggy green.
The 28-year-old debuted for New South Wales in 2012 before he moved across to South Australia. World number 1 Ash Barty is the latest tennis star to express concerns over whether the US Open can be safely held in New York in August. While officials debate player safety, Novak Djokovic is hosting his own exhibitions. The world number 1 broke down at the event in Belgrade and said it brought back childhood memories.
I try to be conscious of my upbringing and my childhood and how it all started for me.
Djokovic says he may skip the US Open if health protocols are too strict. The PGA Tour's first event after 13 weeks in lockdown went to a playoff in Fort Worth, Texas, and Colin Morikawa just had to make this putt to extend it.
Jeepers creepers.
Oh, no. That handed 27-year-old Daniel Berger the Charles Schwab Challenge, his 3rd career title. That burger tasted good, I'm sure. Sam, Adam Simpson tonight at 6 from the Gold Coast Hub. I'll see you then.
See you then. Thanks, Baz. And we have more rain on the way this week. I'll tell you when right after the break.
This is where WA starts the day.
From this morning, COVID-19 restrictions are being relaxed.
If it's breaking in Perth,
Live now to the crime scene.
you'll see it on Sunrise.
Royal Perth Hospital.
Sunrise is Perth News.
Very good news to start our Wednesday.
Sunrise, the best way to start your day in WA.
New Big Brother, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Australians of all ages are choosing Light and Easy. Light and Easy can even assist those on aged care home care packages. If you or someone close to you could benefit by having healthy meals delivered, call us on 13 15 12.
For over 40 years, Canning Vale has invested in quality and design, making exclusive luxury homewares attainable. And now you can enjoy premium quality with free shipping and up to 70% off with Canning Vale's end of financial year sale. Make home a sanctuary of warmth and style with generous discounts on the distinctive Canning Vale range with 100-day home trial and free returns. Shop online now using code EOFY for fast free shipping, up to 70% off for a limited time. CanningVale.com.
Mechanical services and repairs, air conditioning, electrical and lighting repairs. Autospark will find, fix, regas or service it with the best advice. If your car won't start, call Autospark.
Professional, affordable and reliable. That's the Rich Tech promise for all your plumbing and electrical needs. Hot water systems, block drains, burst pipes. We're there within the hour. $0 call-out fee. Rich Tech, where service meets quality.
Let's get Rich Tech.
I just don't think I can afford health cover right now.
Well, you might be surprised. HBF has affordable hospital cover starting from $13.55 per week. Join HBF today.
Your Ford dealer is open and ready to help your business get back to business with high-vis value. So you can get the special edition Ranger FX4 for only $57,990 drive away. Or the special edition Ranger Sport for just $49,490 drive away. And don't forget to check if your business is eligible for the government's instant asset write-off this financial year. So hurry into your Ford dealer now for high-vis value.
The biggest game at 5 o'clock.
$55,000.
Comes down to the very last second. New The Chase. Weekdays on 7.
This weather report proudly brought to you by Australian Red Cross.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check of your roads. We do have the usual action happening on your freeways now. So if you're heading northbound, it's touch and go from the city up to Reed Highway and drop the pace again around Shenton Avenue. Southbound is busy across the Narrows Bridge to Mill Point Road and once more queuing from Berrigan Drive to Russell Road. You can save $70 off our new RAC combined home and contents insurance policy for the first year when you buy online. Get a quote at rac.com.au. More traffic tomorrow.
Now Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, we had a partly cloudy top of 20 degrees in Perth this afternoon. Looking at the national forecast now, showers in Melbourne and Hobart tomorrow. A sunny day for Sydney, showers easing in Adelaide, 17 degrees. Back to Perth, cloud clearing and 22 degrees tomorrow. The showers return on Wednesday with a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Showers again Thursday, clearing for Friday, 18 degrees, and we're in for a sunny weekend. 20 on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, and showers for Monday with a top of 21. And I'll see you with Rixu and Baz for 7 News at 6. Stay with us for The Chase Australia.
This is for you, my son.
Give me something to work with.
I'm not going anywhere.
I love you, son.
Do you believe
Part of the family now.
Something doesn't add up. I'm going to find out what it is.
What am I supposed to do? Stay.
Go on. You know you want to.
Come home. To Home and Away. On 7. Don't miss it. Tonight at 7 on 7.
These four strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but standing in their way is one of the sharpest minds.